Well, good morning to our jury. Thank you once again for being here today. I appreciate it. I know this is kind of a cold and gloomy morning. Thank you for getting here in a timely manner. One thing I forgot to do yesterday at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure everybody was able to hear the testimony and the questions clearly and able to see the board. So I told you early on, if you're having difficulties, just raise your hand and let me know. And I didn't see any hands, so I assume it was okay, but I want to check on that, especially you folks in the back, our alternate jurors. Could you all hear okay and see the board? Everybody shaking your head yes? All right, anybody have a problem? All right, very good. Thank you, folks. All right, if you recall when we left off yesterday, we were in the middle of the state's case in chief. We're ready to resume that proof now. General, if you please call your next witness. Ms. Sowers, if you'd ask him to step in, please. Folks, if you're wondering why the witnesses are outside unless they're family members, it's the rule of sequestration of witnesses. Witnesses are not allowed to hear the testimony of other witnesses, and so we keep them outside until their testimony. So sometimes it causes a delay in getting them in here. So if you come up here to the witness stand next to Officer Thompson. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in the case now on trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. You may have a seat. Once you're seated, you may remove your mask and testify.
Tell us your name, sir.
Andrew Gerard Wise,
And by whom are you employed?
Walmart stores.
How long have you been employed by Walmart?
17 years.
And what do you currently do for Walmart?
I work with the Asset Protection Division of the company.
If you would, describe to the members of the jury what your duties and responsibilities are as an asset protection manager.
Sure. So we apprehend shoplifters. We help ensure the safety and security of all customers and associates while on the property, assist law enforcement with any requests they may have, and we're also the custodian of records for any kind of incidents or requests that we have.
And as a custodian of the records, does that also include the video surveillance system within Walmart stores?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I want to talk to you about 2016. Were you employed by Walmart at that point, sir?
Yes, I was.
In what particular store?
Turkey Creek in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And at some point, did you get requested by investigator Jeremy McCord to pull up video from a certain date and time, sir?
Yes, I was.
And have you had a chance to look at those videos prior to testifying today?
Yes.
I'm going to show you with the pre-mark identification as State's Collective Exhibit 348 and 349. Do you recognize those packets, sir?
Yes, I do.
And with regard to Exhibit 348, if you could describe what that is.
Sure. This is video surveillance. This is a video snapshot of a customer making a purchase at our store. The Turkey Creek store.
Hold on a second.
Okay. All right.
Give us just a second, folks. Our report boarding system is all digital, and we've been having a little difficulty with this computer freezing up in the last couple weeks.
Is it turned off at the bottom? Because I'm not getting anything through here.
Yeah, I'm on. Yeah, mine shut down too. It just happened because it was working earlier.
Yeah, it says low sound level, so it's not finding any names.
They're all showing on too. But let me just try. Before I send y'all out, let me try my high tech in IT training of turning it off and turning it back on. And this projector just shot up and said info lost.
Are you turning the audio back on?
I just turned it off. Turn it back on. Is your computer working at all, or is it trying?
I mean, I've got control
You got
over it,
control.
but it's not finding any,
Any audio?
no.
send you back to the jury room. I need to get this taken care of. Don't discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else, go to officers. I'll see you hopefully in just a couple minutes.
Yep.
You get it.
Yep.
Let's let him go on out. I don't want to look that stupid. All right, folks, you can have a seat. Okay, it does appear everything's working now. Let's let him go to the bathroom real quick. Anybody need to go to the bathroom?
I can check on something.
Yeah, that's a short recess.
It's going to be short, so I can,
Yeah.
we can check our orders.
We're back on minutes, sir. You can stay here. Or you can sit down. I think we got it. Y'all don't have to stand for me. Just wait for the jury to come in. We stand at the opening of court and then just when the jury comes in.
We ready, Judge?
Gentlemen, you ready?
We are.
You ready?
Yeah.
You ready, Kurt?
I am.
Ready? All right, everyone, you may be seated. State way to call the jury. Defense way to call. Welcome back, folks. Sorry about that. It seems to be working now. Hopefully that won't happen again. General, just to be sure, I'm pretty sure it cut off right when we stopped you. But if you go back a couple questions and recover that, please.
You want me to just start over, Your Honor?
I think we're good after you got up to 348 and 349. So if you would just start with that.
Sure. With regard to Exhibit 348, sir, if you tell us what that is?
Sure, this is a video snapshot, or a couple of video snapshots in relation to purchase at one of the registers at Turkey Creek Walmart. Looks like there's a female making a purchase of multiple items.
Okay.
The next video snapshot is the same female exiting our general merchandise exit of the Turkey Creek Walmart. And the third video snapshot is the same, but at a different angle.
Okay. And the disc that accompanies that collective exhibit, sir?
Excuse me?
And the disc that accompanies that collective exhibit?
Yes, the disc as well.
Would that be the video of the screenshots?
It would.
Okay. And with regard to Exhibit 349, if you tell us what that is, sir?
349 is a video disc as well as video snapshots of a male subject entering the grocery side vestibule of Turkey Creek Walmart. Second video snapshot is a close-up profile of the same subject. Third video snapshot is the subject selecting items from our health and beauty aids department. The fourth video snapshot is the subject purchasing items at one of our self-checkouts. Snapshot 5 is the same subject exiting the grocery vestibule after the purchase. Same with video snapshot 6. And 7 is a vehicle with a license plate.
Okay. And the disc that accompanies that collective exhibit, sir, is that the video footage of the snapshots?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, Exhibit 350 is a business record affidavit. I know we have Mr. Wise here, but we received it anyhow, so at this point we need 350 in evidence
It's an affidavit for which these records.
for the Walmart Turkey Creek Knox building.
This exhibit 348.
This is 350, 348, 349.
That is an affidavit for the records that are.
Yes, sir. And we have the president.
Any objection to 348, 349, 350?
So I'm next going to show you what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibits 351 and 352, sir, and ask you if you recognize those documents.
Yes, I do.
And if you tell us what Exhibit 351 is, sir.
Sure. Exhibit 351 is a purchase at our self-checkout, number 46, on November 26, 2016 at 3:35 p.m.
And was that receipt provided to you, or a copy of that receipt provided to you in order to help you identify what register the transaction was made at?
Yes, it was.
Okay, with regard to the next exhibit, if you could tell us what that is, sir.
Sure. This is also a transaction. This is at one of our attended checkouts where a cashier is actually present. This is Register 3 on 11/26/2016 at 12:18 p.m.
And was that receipt provided to you in order to help you identify which register the transaction took place at?
Yes, it was.
Your Honor, at this point, we've moved in State's Exhibits 348, 349, 351, and 352.
Got 348, 350. Any objection to 351, 352? There we go. 351, 352, they're all in.
Your Honor, I'd ask to publish just a snippet, just so we can update the video that we have put into evidence.
Folks, the Attorney General is going to publish parts of 348 and 349. Again, you can watch the whole video during deliberations if you'd like.
Sir, directing your attention to the board with regard to Exhibit 349, sir. I'd ask you to look at this and if you could tell us what we're looking at.
Sure. This is video of the male subject entering our grocery vestibule on November 26, 2016 at 3:26 p.m.
And again, directing your attention to the board, if you could start with this, sir.
Okay, this is the same male subject making a purchase at self-check number 46 on November 26, 2016 at 3:34 p.m.
Now, with regard to Exhibit 348. Directing your attention to the board, if you could tell us what this is, sir.
Sure, this is the Turkey Creek General Merchandise vestibule, and there's the female that made the purchase on the other snapshot exiting the store.
How many votes, Your Honor?
Yes.
Your Honor, next we have a 902 business record affidavit, which was sent to us from a Walmart in Baton Rouge by Leanne Walter Hildebrandt. She is the keeper of the records for the loss prevention, or front-end manager, excuse me, and has provided us with a sufficient 902 affidavit. Included in that affidavit is the law enforcement request form, as well as the physical receipt from a transaction that occurred on November 21st, 2016. We'd ask to enter that as State's Exhibit 353.
Any additional objections?
No, just reaffirming our prior objections.
Board is going to overrule the objection previously made and proceed with Exhibit 353. But Exhibit 353 is being received into evidence. There won't be a witness here to testify to what it is. They provided an affidavit that I deem is legally sufficient to establish the records for admission. So they will be admitted to your consideration.
Your Honor, we ask also the public reporting through Mr. Wise, based on his knowledge as the keeper of the records, that this facility is in fact a Walmart in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Sir, directing your attention to the board, if you could tell us what is in this video.
Sure. This is a self-checkout at a Walmart store, specifically self-checkout number 47, dated November 21st, 2016 at 3:25 p.m.
And based on your knowledge and training and experience as a loss prevention manager for Walmart, does this appear to be a Walmart, sir?
Yes, it does.
And what would help you in making that decision in terms of this is in fact a Walmart?
This is pretty much an exact layout of a self-checkout register. You got the Walmart blue right at the top there. Behind, you'll see a whole bunch of different items and stuff like that. That's usually our as seen on TV section next to the self-checkouts, or just one of those last-minute item sections. In addition, I can see to the right where he just put his hand, that's a Walmart bag, and I can see some other Walmart bags and stuff to the left-hand side there.
And is a product or do you sell totes at Walmart?
We do. And that is actually what he is purchasing. It appears to be a blue Sterilite type tote.
At this point, we pass witness.
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may sit down. You're free to go.
Thank you, sir.
Next witness.
Here we recall Sandy Campbell.
Any objections to recall?
No, Your Honor.
Let me just have 1 minute, just for, you don't need to send the jury out, I just want to make sure that they know what evidence to pull.
All right. Just bear with me just a minute, folks.
Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Officer Campbell, you understand you are still under oath from yesterday?
Correct.
All right, you may continue.
In addition to obtaining a video as well as capturing photographs and processing physical evidence, What do you recall collecting pieces of physical evidence throughout the residence?
Throughout the residence, yes,
Specifically, did you collect a soup pot from the kitchen?
I did.
Okay. If I could get item number 18, please.
The chain here, so it won't take so long for the next one.
Somebody approach down.
I did.
Approach with what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 354 for identification, and ask if you recognize this box, ma'am,
I do.
and if you would explain to members of the jury what it is.
It is the box that contains the stock pot that was on the stove.
And do you have a measure?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're going to move the microphone off that one. There you go. Say that again.
Again, if you could describe what,
It's the box that contains the stock pot that we found on the stove.
and do you have a knife ready?
I do.
Ask you to break the seal on that. And if you could just hold it up, and I think that would be sufficient.
Like, out of nothing.
And again, where was that located in the residence?
This was on the stove.
We'll move that in as State's Exhibit 354.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor, subject to
Previous, yes. It'll be received as Exhibit 354.
Did you also collect a cell phone, ma'am?
If it has my name on it, I did. I don't recall specifically. There was a lot of evidence on that scene.
Would assist you in looking at the package?
It would, yes.
Feel free to just focus this way.
Thank you. I'm going to show you what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 355 for identification. Do you recognize that, ma'am?
Yes.
And if you would, tell us what that is.
It is the pink cell phone that was on the kitchen counter.
And at this point, we'd move that in as State's Exhibit 355.
Any objection?
no, Your Honor.
All right, folks, the court is going to receive Exhibit 355, which purports to be a cell phone. I want to clarify to you, this physical cell phone itself is what is in evidence, not the electronic contents. So if during deliberations, if you look at that cell phone, you cannot bring out a cord, charge it up, and open it up and look through it, okay? It's just the physical phone that's in evidence.
And Officer Campbell, did you also collect an empty oxycodone pill bottle from the kitchen that were in your photographs?
Yes.
And while we're looking for that, ma'am, did you also collect 2 wallets?
Yes, sir.
And from your photographs yesterday, can you describe where those wallets physically were?
Where they were?
Yes.
They were on the table in the eating kitchen.
Sure, you what's been pre-marked as States Exhibit 356 for identification, and ask you if you recognize that package.
Yes, sir. It's the keys as well
These as well
as the two wallets.
If you could break the seal on that. If you could
The first
describe to
wallet.
members of the jury what we're looking at.
This
Speak
is
loudly in the microphone.
the first wallet that was on the table in the kitchen. It's got the driver's license of Lisa Guy in it.
And as part of your duties and responsibilities, you also inventory the contents of that wallet.
That is traditionally what we did. I don't think that I was personally the one who did that for this, in this case. The next item in the bag is a brown man's wallet. And this one has the driver's license of Joel Michael Guy with an address of Golden View Lane. And then there's a set of keys for a Kia vehicle.
Your Honor, we move this in as States Collective Exhibit 356.
Any objection?
Going back to the pill bottle, ma'am. Do you recall where you recovered that pill bottle from?
It should say on the packaging if it's the pill bottle in the kitchen.
Showing it's been pre-marked as States Exhibit 357 for identification. You tell us what's in that bag, ma'am.
Yes, this is the empty prescription bottle that was on the kitchen counter.
We move that in as States Exhibit 357.
Any objection? 357.
Did you also collect a purse from the same table in the downstairs dining room?
I did in the eat-in kitchen. That table is where the purse was.
Showing what's been pre-marked as States Exhibit 358 for identification. Can you identify that package?
Yes, sir. This is the purse, the magazine, and then there was some cash sitting on the table as well. This is all three of those items.
We move that in as States Exhibit 358.
358.
Did you also collect a doorknob with a real estate lock attached to it?
Yes.
Show me what's been pre-marked as States Exhibit 359 for identification. Ask if you can identify that package.
Yes, sir. This is the doorknob with the real estate lock attached to it that was in the kitchen sink. You'll remember in the pictures it was in some fluid.
Ask if you could break the seal on that. describe what it is.
It's a blue real estate lock with a doorknob, half of a doorknob attached to it. And you can hear that there's a key or something inside.
States Exhibit 359. Condition where you found that lockbox, did you mention it was in fluid?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall collecting gloves at the residence at 11434 Golden View Lane?
I do.
Swab.
Show you what's been pre-marked in States Exhibit 360 and ask if you can describe what that package is.
So these are the two gloves that were on the kitchen counter near the pill bottle. There's two of them in there.
Move that in as States Exhibit 360.
Without objection, will be 360.
Did you also collect a bleach sprayer from the kitchen floor,
I did.
as well as a roll of black trash bags?
Yes.
Show you what's been pre-marked as States Exhibit 361. Ask you to recognize that.
Yes, this is the bleach sprayer that was in the box, the green box on the kitchen floor, and a roll of black plastic trash bags.
Ask if you could break the seal.
This is the roll of trash bags with multiple ones attached. And this is the bleach sprayer.
And the black and color substance on that, if you would explain to the members of the jury what you believe that to be.
So this is fingerprint dust from where we've processed it for latent fingerprints.
Your Honor, we move that in the States Exhibit 361.
Without objection, will be 361.
Did you also collect several bottles of bleach?
I did.
Showing what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 362, and I'm asking if you can identify that package.
Yes, so this is 2 bottles of bleach that were in the kitchen floor there when you first made entry into the residence, that large pile of all that other stuff. There was bottles of bleach in there as well.
I ask you to break the seal and show the members of the contents.
This is the first bottle.
And again, the black in color appearing substance on them.
That's fingerprint powder.
State's Exhibit 362.
Section will be 362.
You also have cause to collect a bottle of muriatic acid and baking soda.
I did.
Showing you what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 363. Identification, ask if you can show that document, excuse me, what that package is.
This is a bag of baking soda and a bottle of muriatic acid.
And if you would break the seal on that.
This is the baking soda. It's 13.5 pounds. And this is the bottle of muriatic acid.
In regard to the muriatic acid, is there some volume of substance missing from that bottle?
I don't recall if it was open or not.
Move that in the State's Exhibit 363.
Objection, it'll be 362.
And in the course of your investigation, did you also collect buccal swabs and other DNA swabs from within the residence?
We did not collect any buccal swabs within the residence because those are
Not the buccal swabs.
those are cheek swabs, but we did collect swabs.
Okay, and did you also collect buccal swabs not at the residence,
Correct. Yes.
specifically from Joel Guy Jr.?
I did.
If I may approach, John. Showing first what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 364 for identification. You recognize that package?
I do. This is a set of buccal swabs, which are cheek swabs, from the defendant.
And if you would describe to the members of the jury what you do when you take buccal swabs from the interior of someone's mouth.
Well, we have just large Q-tips, essentially, and then we just gently kind of scrape the inside of the cheek of the person whose swabs we're collecting so that we have their DNA standard.
Now, we move that in as State's Exhibit 364.
Any objection?
Subject to, of course, we filed motions earlier, essentially ever keep evidence is objected to, but no additional objection.
No additional objection. It'll be 364.
Next, showing you what has been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 365 for identification. If you could describe what that package is.
These are swabs that we recovered on scene from the handle and lid of the stock pot that was on the stove.
In the process of taking swabs from a piece of equipment or a pot, how is that different than what you did with Mr. Guy?
So in this kind of situation, what we would traditionally do, because the pot surface on the exterior is dry, so we would do a technique that we refer to as wet swab, dry swab, where we would dampen one of the two swabs that come in the set and run the damp one along with the dry one right behind it at the same time on the surface to be swabbed, so that it collects, first moistens, and then the first one moistens and the second one collects the possible DNA, what we refer to as touch DNA.
We move that in as State's Exhibit 365.
Without further objection, it'll be 365.
Next, showing what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 366 for identification. Do you recognize that package?
This is 6 sets of buccal swabs from the defendant.
And those swabs that you physically took?
Yes.
Okay. We move that in as State's Exhibit 366.
366 without further objection.
And last, showing you what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 367 for identification. Do you recognize that package?
Yes, sir. This is an additional set of buccal swabs from the defendant.
And again, is that buccal swabs that you physically took from Joe Guy Jr.?
Yes, sir.
We'd move that in as State's Exhibit 367.
367.
Is that the entirety of the physical evidence that you took from 11434 Golden View Lane on November 28th, 29th, and 30th of 2016?
I couldn't tell you specifically without looking at the property list to see if there was anything else that I had personally collected.
Okay. We'll pass one, Cheryl.
Good morning again. The liquid that was in the sink, was that tested, or was that first preserved and second was it tested?
We did collect a sample of it, and I'm not sure if it got sent off for testing or not.
But you did collect a sample of it?
We did.
Thank you.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Just briefly, with regard to the lockbox, based on your training and experience, did it appear that there was other substance in the sink beyond water?
I thought that it might be water and bleach mixed together, but I have no way of confirming that.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Any further recross?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Officer Kimley. You may step down again. All right, next witness, please.
Ricky Tassie.
you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in the case now on trial be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, not the God?
I do. Your Honor, please, what's the next exhibit number? Can you state your name for the record, please?
Officer Tracy Tassie,
And can you tell the jury what your job is, what your occupation is?
crime scene.
You work for the Knox County Sheriff's Office?
Yes,
And did you work for the Sheriff's Office back in April of 2017?
yes, I did.
And as part of your responsibilities, did you submit an article of evidence from the Golden View Lane address?
I collected evidence at that address.
Okay. May I approach the witness? I'm going to show you Exhibit 368 and ask you if you can identify this packaging.
Yes, that is my packaging.
And can you identify what that is for the jury, please?
It is one Oral-B toothbrush that was collected from under the vanity in the master bedroom.
Okay. And when you collected that, what did you do with it afterwards?
We brought it back to the building, packaged it, then it was submitted for DNA.
Stand a little closer.
To the TBI?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Cross-examination. Any objections to 368?
Just the continuing objection.
Yes.
No question.
Thank you, ma'am. You may sit down. You're free to go. Next witness. Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
State your name for the record, please.
Mason David Buccal,
Where are you employed?
Knox County Sheriff's Office.
And were you employed at the Sheriff's Office back in March of 2017?
I was.
And at some point, do you recall going to the Regional Forensic Center located on Sullins in Knoxville?
Yes, ma'am.
May I approach the witness? Can you tell the jury a little bit about the purpose for you going to the Forensic Center?
On the day in question, I was going to pick up a DNA sample.
Okay. And I want to show you Exhibit 369 and ask you if you recognize this.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your packaging? And can you tell the jury what you picked up, identified?
Correct. Yes, ma'am. I actually picked this up. It is a DNA card from the Forensic Center.
And did you return that to the Knox County Sheriff's Office?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You would move 369 into evidence and pass the witness.
Any objection to 369? So, yeah, it'll be 369. Any cross-examination?
No question.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. You're free to go. Thank you. Next witness. Yes. All right, folks, our next witness is going to be somewhat lengthy. We can always take a break in the middle of their testimony, but before we begin it, does anybody need a break now? So raise your hand. No? Everybody good? All right, Joe, please call your next witness.
Sergeant Jeremy T-Wall.
You please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in the case now on trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, help you God?
I do, sir.
Please have a seat, sir. Once you're seated, you may remove your mask and testify.
Morning, officer. Tell us your name for the record
My name is Officer Jeremy T. Walt,
and by whom are you employed,
the Clinton Police Department in Anderson County, Tennessee.
in what capacity.
Patrol.
Okay, I want to talk to you about 2016, sir. Were you employed with the Knox County Sheriff's Department?
Yes, sir.
And in what capacity were you employed with the Knox County Sheriff's Department?
During that time, I was a forensic officer.
And if you would, describe to the members of the jury what kind of training that you undergo as a forensics officer with the Sheriff's Department.
In 2015, I went to the NFA, the National Forensic Academy. It is a 10-week course. You'll go over just about each week. You'll go over things like crash reconstruction, bullet trajectory, crime scene analysis, just a bunch of very good training.
Any training that has to do with blood spatter?
Yes, sir. There is a course of blood stain analysis.
Okay, and at the time you were forensics officer with the Knox County Sheriff's Department, were you subject to annual retraining or continued training?
Yes, it was kind of like on-job training.
And I specifically want to talk to you about November 28th, 29th, and 30th of 2016. Did you have cause on those days to respond to 11434 Golden View Lane here in Knox County?
Yes, sir.
And what was the basis of you responding to that address, sir?
I was a secondary officer or secondary forensic unit, and I responded to, it was an after the scene. Basically everything had been either moved around or removed from the scene when I went there.
And is it fair to say that the physical evidence at that point had been removed?
Correct. There were still evidence per se, is like blood on the walls and stuff like that, but a lot of stuff was moved.
Okay.
Taken.
And what did you do as a secondary officer on that day with regard to the crime scene at 11434 Golden View Lane?
I went to take pictures of some blood that was on the walls all upstairs, like the hallway. There was a back bedroom. There was blood back there.
And have you had a chance to view those photos before testifying today, sir?
Yes.
If I may approach now.
Yes.
Maybe additional 85 exhibits.
We're starting at 371.
I'm approaching what's been pre-marked as states exhibits 371 through 451 for identification. I'm going to ask you to kind of thumb through those and tell us what they are, not individually, but the packet.
Like go through them and tell you.
Not individually, but do you recognize what those photos
Okay,
are?
okay. These are the pictures that I had taken while I was there at the scene.
Those are fair and accurate copy of the photos you took on November the 30th, 2016.
Yes, sir.
And we moved those in, states exhibits 371 through 451. We'd ask to post.
No further objection on the exhibits 371 through 451. You may post.
This is a picture at the top of the steps, if I'm not mistaken. That's a wall that's to your right, that leading into right there, a little farther to your left, where you see the bedroom.
372?
That is, if you're at the top of the steps and you take a left and go all the way down the hall, there's a bedroom back there that's like a workout room, if I'm not mistaken. And this is in that room, and I just took a picture of a door that was in that room.
373?
Just another close-up of that.
374?
Picture of the blood that was in the area, the largest amount.
375?
Just another picture. Same area, just different angle, closer up.
376?
Same area, just different angle.
377?
It's different angle, same area.
378?
That's a little bit farther down the wall from that area.
379?
Just another picture, different angle.
380?
This is back at the beginning of the steps. We were starting to take or put tape up for measurements and things.
And what's the purpose of putting these tapes up to obtain measurements?
For one, to see just the distance of how high the blood is sometimes, or you can tell by the distance or the angle of how a blood hits a surface. It's same thing, just different photo. Same thing, different photo. Here I'm just putting a closer ruler just to show measurements of the angles. Same thing, just different picture of the angles. Closer up. Just another closer picture. This picture is kind of to show a little bit of a distance to kind of get the whole bloodstain pattern in.
And directing your attention to two, what if any significance does that have?
Can you repeat the question?
What if any significance does that number two have, if any?
It looks to me like a cast off.
Next picture. And what are you doing here, sir?
Same thing, just taking a closer measured picture of that previous picture, but just in a smaller frame.
All right.
That was the same bloodstain pattern, just the tail end of it, I guess you would say. This is on the the hallway closest to the bedrooms. Just getting a measurement of how high the blood is onto the walls.
Next photo.
I think where we're just taking a picture just to show how high from the floor. Here, just showing the length of the blood droplets. Same thing, just showing angles and measurements.
Next photo.
This is back in the workout room. I think we measured off the highest amount of blood that the farthest up that it went, or we could find.
And again, just for clarification, this is after the initial crime team has been through the residence?
Correct. I had come, I think it was a day or so, or a couple of days afterward, me and Captain Park, to just take more pictures of the scene.
Okay. Next photo.
Just marking off measurements.
Next photo.
Just trying to give a visual of what we were seeing. I mean, it looks busy because there's a lot of cast off. There's impact spatter. So we were just trying to get overall pictures of everything.
Next photo, sir.
This photo, we were just taking measurements and showing it looks like could be smearing, like maybe blood transfer, a lot of movement.
Next photo, sir.
We were just showing the height of the window.
Next photo.
Here we're trying to show the angles of the blood droplets. And which direction they're going. The tail of the blood droplet tells you where it was going. So a lot of the times when we're putting these measurements, we're just trying to show you the angle and which direction it was going.
And using the screen before you, if you could mark on there what you're talking about with these tails.
Mark on it. Okay. I'll use this one right here because it's the largest one.
Change that. All right, try it.
I'll use this one right here as the ones I'm
If you could speak in the microphone.
I'm sorry, I moved away from it. I'll use this one right here as the one I'm referring to. The way the blood droplet hits on the surface, you can look and tell by the angle which way it was going, because the tail will tell you that's where it was going. So it was going this direction. That doesn't really, if that makes sense.
And if you could go into the top right hand of the screen and go to the clear button, sir.
Top right, clear.
Yeah, just see the little green arrow at the top. Tap that on
Oh.
your menu, and then scroll down to the bottom left.
Huh. Easy.
Thanks, sir. Next photo.
This is where we were taking swabs, DNA swabs of certain areas. When we do this, we'll take a picture of the swab next to what we're going to take as a sample, and the next picture should be with the same area, but now it should have been wiped, where it'll.
This photo, sir.
Correct.
Is that the process that you described?
Yes, sir. That's the same thing I'm showing, that the swab is clean, there's nothing on it. And the next photo will show that the swab has the reddish brown substance at the time we didn't know, so we're just making sure. So the next video, or I'm sorry, the next photo will show this area is void of the blood pattern.
And again. For clarification, what you're illustrating in this photographs is pre-swab and then post-swab?
Correct.
Okay. And again, sir?
Same thing, just picking random spots out.
This photo, sir?
This is a photo walking into the front door. I guess you could call it like a foyer. It splits, goes upstairs to the where the scene actually was. I took a picture of this open foyer just to show just the condition of it as soon as you walk in the door.
This photo, sir?
At the time, I wasn't, as I was standing there, I wasn't quite sure what that was, so I just took a picture of it.
Okay.
I know what it is now.
Next photo, sir?
I didn't know what that was, so I took a picture of it also.
Next photo, sir?
These were, I think they were filled with gasoline that was outside in the garage. I think that's where it was.
Next photo?
Just a picture of a table that showed use, that people had been out there.
And where is this table, sir?
I believe that is also in the garage.
Okay.
I'm just trying to show that there is a liquid inside.
And is there liquid in all three of those gas tanks?
Yes, sir.
In this photo, sir?
Just showing the measurement of how much each one of those can hold.
Going back, is it fair to say there's roughly 15 gallons of gas in those three?
Yes, yes, sir.
Next photo, sir?
I believe this is a bedroom that is off of that main hallway. If you're upstairs and you take a left, I believe this is one of the bedrooms that's off that hallway.
Next photo, sir?
Anytime I take a picture, just try to take an overall of the surroundings inside the room.
And directing your attention to item in this bedroom, did you ultimately collect these tops to bins that were located in this bedroom?
I don't remember. I can't remember if I collected those or not.
Okay. Photo, sir?
This is just the other side of the bed.
Next photo, sir?
A top to like a lid to a Tupperware or plastic tub.
So how many tops to plastic tubs did you find in that bedroom?
I think there were two. That one and then the one that was behind the closet door.
Okay. Next photo, sir?
This is at the top of the stairs, kind of like the open area where it splits to go off the different directions.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 452 for identification and ask you if you recognize that package, sir.
Yes. Yes.
If you could describe what that is, sir.
It's one of the swabs that was in the pictures.
Does it say which room that swab came from?
This one is from the exercise room wall.
And that was depicted in your pictures?
Yes, sir.
All right, we move that in as State's Exhibit 452. Next, I'm going to hand you what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 453 for identification and ask if you recognize that package.
Yes.
And if you could tell us what that is.
It's also another one of the blood samples for collection for DNA. And this one's from the gate.
And was that also depicted in your pictures?
Yes, sir.
No, at this point, we move that in as State's Exhibit 453.
Objection will be 453.
Last, I'm going to hand you what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 454 for identification and ask if you recognize that package.
Yes.
And if you describe what it is.
It is also another one of the swab collections from the exercise room wall.
And is that depicted in your pictures?
Yes, sir.
At this point, we move that in as State's Exhibit 454.
454 without further objection.
Officer Kewalt, you recall collecting 2 large bins from 11434 Golden View Lane?
Yes, sir.
You recall where they were located?
No, I cannot recall where I collected them from.
Were they empty at the time that you collected them?
Yes.
The crime scene had been processed by the time you collected them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
You may approach, Your Honor.
Yes, please.
I'm going to show you what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 455, sir, and ask you if you recognize this.
Yes.
And if you would describe what this is, sir.
It's a large. It's a large plastic container, like a hard plastic container.
Same plastic container that you collected from 11434 Golden View Lane.
Yes, sir.
And we moved this in as State's Exhibit 455. Again, I'm approaching at this time with what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 456. I'm going to ask you if you recognize this evidence, sir.
Yes, sir.
And what is it?
It's another one of the large containers, plastic containers.
Is this a container that you collected from 11434 Golden View Lane?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you, sir, at the time you collected them, were the lids separate and apart from the physical, or the larger portion of the containers?
I don't remember if they were on the top or not.
In your pictures, were they depicted in another room? The lids.
Yes.
At this point, we've moved Send as State's Exhibit 456.
Further objection, be 456.
I'm not showing you what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 457. I'm going to ask you if you recognize this, sir.
Yes, it's one of the gas cans that was in the garage.
And how many gas cans were in the garage?
There were 3.
Will they all have similar volume content in terms of liquid?
Correct.
And this is the same as the other two?
Yes, that was labeled 1, and we labeled the other ones 1 or 2 and 3.
At this point, we move that in as State's Exhibit 457.
Further objection, be 457.
Passman.
Boston, have any?
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. You're free to go.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that takes us to our mid-morning break. Once again, do not discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else. You can leave your notebooks in your chairs. We'll take about a 10, 15-minute break.